Mama Gina Lamont, and so we will be playing her songs all night. Mama Gina, you give us permission to play your songs live tonight?
You know it. Go for it. Play everything.
Awesome. All right, Facebook, don't delete us. You heard her.
Quiet out here between all the light, lead between suns in this eternal night. Promise of home, never in sight. In the space in between the stars. Silence in here, in the void in between. Silence so loud it can make your ears bleed. Sometimes I tether alone in the dream. In the space in between the stars. You think that your world is the only one, then you walk on your moon, and the damage is done, and the only way out is through, and then on to the space in between the stars. There's a place out here where they don't know the night. 7 suns burn forever in light, and the doorway exists out of space and of time, where you can forget who you are. You will not know if you're a hunter or game. Here in the deep, you'll surrender your name to find yourself all over again. In the space in between the stars. Shadows can try and draw you close. You leave behind everything you know to find all the room that you need to grow in the space in between the stars. There are voices I hear I cannot sing. Their love and their fury is all the thing, and I cannot describe the solace they bring. Quiet out here between all the lights, sleep between suns in this eternal flight. The promise of love lost to the night. In the space in between the stars. Oh, the space. side of the space. Between the 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 side of the space.
All right, everyone. That was Mama Gina. And she's joining us tonight here on What Up Witches on BFAM 109.6. That was her first song on her new album, She Walks the Stars, called Between the Stars. Welcome, Mama Gina.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm awesome. How have you been?
I have been great. COVID sucks.
Yes.
All of our downtime would definitely suck. But I found ways to mitigate the damage, you know? I wrote a whole new album.
Right. So you're far more productive than I was.
I don't know, you put together a beautiful new podcast. So
You know what? Yes, this is true. for us, just for pagans.
That's it.
Huh?
No, so that's great.
Yeah. So, what? Tell us real quick, because you have an interesting backstory. How did you decide to pick up this mantle of becoming a bard and folk artist in the pagan world? Because pagan music takes a minute to kind of catch ground and go forward.
Yeah, you know, I've been a musician my whole life. I think I was singing before I was speaking. You know, I was humming way before I was speaking. And I started singing professionally by the time I was 16. On the road with bands, traveled with great musicians for most of my life, and worked on stage part-time with bands while I was raising my son.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm almost 60 now. When I was 50, my son had just turned 18. And I said, you know what I want to do? I want to go back on the road. I want to do music full-time. And I want to completely immerse myself in my pagan community.
Okay.
And so it only made sense to start writing that music. I mean, I was actually already writing the music.
Okay.
So I just moved it from the fire to the stage.
Although we still love seeing you live and
around the fire.
Yeah. Oh no, I love it. I love that part too. But and just, you know, I have so many friends in the pagan community already when I decided to do this 10 years ago that it just made it an easy leap.
So if you guys have never seen her perform live, she really gets her audiences involved. And it's interesting seeing the progression, because I started listening to her kind of early with the albums. And now they have taken on kind of lives and personalities of their own. So whose personality is speaking this time?
All right, so Ava is a bard. She's a musician, but she's 30,000 years in our future.
Okay.
She's on our timeline. There's lots of splits, but we share a timeline.
Okay.
And by the way, so your listeners know, these voices in my head are very real. I mean, they're not. This is not something that I could possibly have ever made up on my own. She's a real voice in my head. I couldn't have written this music. She made it all up and just gave it to me. But Ava is this bard. She's bringing music all over the Milky Way.
Okay.
And when you meet her in Between the Stars, that first song, she's actually in cryo. She's traveling between stops.
Okay.
And so she goes into cryo because it's a long while.
Right.
She might be there for 50 years or so. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And she winds up falling in love with this girl who glows in the dark.
Okay.
Escaped corporate sex slave. It's really a complicated complicated. It's space opera.
See, this is why you have to see her live, because between the songs, she tells the stories.
That's right.
And so you have to see her live.
Yeah.
It's almost like a play.
It is.
It is.
She's like a genius writer in music. You don't have to actually sit down and read it. You just write it. You just listen to it.
I just let it happen.
So, real quick, so I meant to mention this earlier. So for those who don't know, she is a Pagan Award winning artist. Okay, so how did that feel when you got that memo saying, "Hey, you just made it"?
It was a real honor. The International Pagan Music Award Association, I'm a member, and I really believe in their mission, because what they are trying to do is to give a broader platform for pagan musicians and for pagan music, but they're also trying to bring it outside the pagan community and share our music beyond that, because we have a lot to say.
Yes.
And our best, we all feel the same stuff. We just give it different names.
Yes.
And so I love the IPMA, and yeah, it was kind of cool. I have the award now, and it is like 20-some pounds of lead crystals. It's this tower thing, and when they handed it to me, the first thing I thought was, I'm going to put this on my altar and focus some energy, and this is going to be not for, yay, I'm so great, because I don't believe in all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it's become a beacon to send out light for future music, for future musicians.
Oh, awesome.
So it's on my altar. It's the centerpiece of my altar now.
Oh, that's absolutely awesome. So pagan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Classical pagan. We don't put this on the mantle. It goes on the altar.
Of course we do. Of course we do.
Manifest. Bring me all that energy. Let's get it out there in the universe.
With all that lead crystal, I was like, oh yeah, this is getting programmed.
Have you noticed a change in energy at all?
You know what? It really helped me focus. That was a couple of years ago that I got that award, and it really did help me focus and look forward.
Okay.
I don't like to sit and rest on the songs that I already wrote.
This is true.
And it's also helped me focus on paying things forward to the new musicians who are coming up.
Okay. So, you, of course, COVID came up, so you weren't able to tour, so you, Ava gave you her message to give to the rest of us. Do you have a favorite song from this album?
I really love them all. I should be tired of this album by now, because I've spent the last year and a half in my home studio working on it.
Uh-huh.
But I gotta tell you, I think that Poison Garden is definitely something I never could have created out of my own imagination. And it tells the story of Bai, who is a retired Shinto monk.
Okay.
And she runs kind of an underground for escaped corporate sex slaves. And helps them work under the radar. And she's going to help Camp, the girl who wrote Glow in the Dark. She's going to help her lose her brain. But Bai is a little bit crazy. And like a normal doctor at all. And she has a huge poison garden. And so
Goals.
Ava, while they're there, she spends a lot of time in that poison garden. And I did a lot of research for the song to try to tie all of this crazy together and take people through that walk.
So as witchy luck would have it, guess what song I'm about to play? Right here, it was already on here, y'all. I cannot make these things up. So now we're going to hear the song Poison Garden. It is number 7 on the She Walks the Stars album.
What's the chance you picked number 7?
It's right here. See, I promised I didn't make it up.
I know you did. I know you did. That's crazy.
She's got that gift. Do not breathe too deep. Careful where you place your feet. Root and stem, leaf and seed, flower and vine, trixie weed. Welcome to my poison garden. May you find your peace. Step into my poison garden. Sleep. Morning's glory, night's shade, elderberry, mistletoe, rain to end, bring your flame. Choose your path, child. It's yours to name. Welcome to my poison garden. May you find your peace. Step into my poison garden. Sleep. Sleep the night. Sleep magickal. Peace is sure if there's love. There's enough. Opium poppy and like you, wormwood, foxglove, mandrake, trumpets and rain, angel flowers bloom. Berries on lantana grow. Welcome to my poison garden. May you find your ease. Step into my poison garden.
I absolutely love that
Yeah, I
song.
do too.
That garden that she gets described as like my dream garden. Might have to plant some of those. Hey, you know my saying, if I can heal you, I can kill you. So Poison Garden is right up there.
One of the weird things about that song is that Vi never spoke to me directly. Ava was always the one that spoke to me. But when I got close to the final mix of Poison Garden, she actually bubbled up right in front of me, like looked right at me, and she said, "That which doesn't kill you." I'm very interested in that. And it was like she was blessing the song, you know? It's just, yeah. And so I finally got to meet Vi face to face and not through Ava.
Okay.
I got close to finishing that song. It was a really interesting experience.
So do you think that Vi might make an appearance on the next album? Is she going to like stay in the forefront here?
I don't know. Literally, this wasn't just an album in the making in the last year. I started receiving this music 4 years ago.
Okay.
I started writing it about 3 years ago. And it was just within the last year and a half, when COVID started up, that I was able to sit still long enough to build a bedroom studio, to take classes, to learn how to do all the stuff I was going to have to do.
Okay.
And I think I need a break from Ava and her universe. I've got another voice waiting in my head that I'm telling I can't talk to. So we're gonna give them a break. Everybody in Ava's world on a timeout. Yeah, going forward for a little bit. But they might show back up. Who knows?
Okay.
Can you do that?
What?
Can you put people on?
Yes, you can put people in the spiritual world on hold.
Sure
that was
can.
supposed to be last week's conversation, but
You
had
got
technical
the hell out of
difficulties.
that.
So we'll have that conversation
How
next
are they
week.
not the boss, the guide? I'm so lost.
No.
Because overloading your mind will send you to the loony bin. They actually want their messages to come across, so they're patient.
Well, they're not really patient. In my
I'm looking at her face. Every time you're talking, she's like this.
Okay, hers aren't patient. Give us details.
You to go through the thing, whatever it is, right?
Okay.
So sometimes I just have to rule and say, yeah, no, not right now. You know, I just put the hand up and go, y'all gotta shut up. I can't multitask here. So, yeah.
Wait till you watch this back. Hey, just so we have a couple of listeners here that aren't in the world. Asking, how can we find your records? And I'm also going to let them know that the show will be able to be listened to on What Up Witches on the private group page. You have to join the private group, but her music will be on there for the show on the Facebook group page. Where can they go ahead and find your music?
There's a couple of places. The easiest thing to do is to go to mamaginamusic.com. That's MAMAGINA music.com. And there will be links to my Bandcamp page. Everything's on the Bandcamp page. And I'm running right now a pre-order for the CD sales. I will have the CDs in about a month. They're being manufactured You can get the digital download camp, or you can order the CD or whatever. And all 8 of my CDs are up there now.
So I'm going to say, people, yes, while being able to download them is awesome, streaming them is awesome because royalties for Mama, owning her albums are like a great thing if you just like want to meditate. They're just, I don't know, refreshing.
I told Amanda, I always get the warm and fuzzies anytime I'm in the same room with you. Like, that's why I miss your hugs so much, because I always get, and I'm that way the whole entire time I'm around you, and then when you leave, it's just fizzles away.
Oh, well, we're gonna meet up in a year and get lots of hugs.
Good.
So I want to step back real quick because Ava is not the first of the voices that came through. Before this, we had, was it Nine Toes the Bar?
Yes, Nine Toes the Bar, yes.
Tell us a little bit about her, because people, this album took kind of a different turn from all your albums before that, and in my opinion, it attracted like a different listener.
Yeah. So I swear this is the true story. I'm driving one day, and this entire story falls in my head while I'm driving. I'm on the road traveling, and it's about this bard who has a curse on her. Nobody can remember her name. So she makes a deal with the dragon, and the dragon says, I will make sure that you have a name that everybody remembers. In exchange, you have to spend the night with me. I get to take whatever I want. So when she wakes in the morning, she's missing a toe.
I wish y'all could see David's face.
This whole story like falls into my
I remember this story.
Right. So I pull over at the next exit. I scribble everything down because I always carry notebooks with me because this happens a lot. I write the whole story. Within 2 weeks, I have written the epic Nine Toes the Bard song. It took me like 5 pages. In fact, the first time that I ever played it in public, I got 5 people from the audience to stand there and hold each page and just move in front of me as I got. But here's the really crazy part about it. I wasn't ever going to play that song out because it was like, this isn't anything like I've ever done, right?
Right.
But it was such a great song, and it's a drinking song, and everybody was singing along. I'm like, I have to do this song. And started giving me a couple more songs, but I didn't know who she was. I thought, I don't know where this stuff is coming from. Maybe I have an aneurysm. In June, it was June of 2016, 10 months after I wrote Nine Toes the Bars, I wound up in a hospital in St. Louis.
I remember
and
that.
I lost a toe.
I remember that.
Yeah.
What?
This is what I wanted to get about.
I remember that. Yep.
In the morning after the surgery, she walked into my hospital room, and I was not on any pain meds. I'm just going to say that right now. She walked in, she saunters in, she's got this red hair, she kind of cocks her hip at me, and I go, you're real. And she said, I said, oh, you have an accent. And we started talking, yes, we talk a lot, and wound up writing a whole album of her adventures, and that's Nine Toes the Bard. Actually, there's a second one now. There's a bootleg with all the naughty stuff on it that I didn't put on that first CD.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, this record was not exactly PG. There was a little.
Not exactly, but there was other music that I couldn't even put on that album.
Okay, these I have to log in here.
This might be a family show, so I'm not going to go there. But Nine Toes was so saucy, and it got to the point where I actually would let her go on stage. I would just disappear. I'd let her drive. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I'm want to tell this story. I want to do this song, and I would just let her do it. And yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Oh my
This is
God.
real.
All right, so the next song I'm going to play is still from the She Walks the Stars album, but it was a request by someone on Facebook said they wanted to hear Heavy.
Oh, and you know who asked that? I got to say this before you play it.
Okay.
Armando Almiral Jr. He was with the Black Sun Prophets, which is a metal pagan band out of South Florida. He played the really rockin' kick-ass guitar on Heavy one.
Awesome. All right, well, let's hear it.
He's in the room.
He's in the room. Hi.
Hey, Armando.
All right, so let's listen to Heavy.
Gravity, baby.
I love this.
Makes you feel like you're always falling down. Gravity, baby. How do you pick up your feet after putting them down, bound? Heavy. How do you lift yourself up when the world drags you down, bound? Heavy. The gravity of every little thing is so much more than I can bear. No matter what I do, I'm telling you, the pain is always there. So heavy, keep your eyes on. Heavy, you can fly, but you gotta let go. Every little thing that makes you so heavy. Gravity, baby. How do you live with yourself when your anger is all you feed? Heavy. You say it is what it is, but it's insanity to me. Heavy. The tragedy of every little thing is always eating at my soul. The weight of all these tears really taking its toll. You're so heavy, in your eyes on. Heavy, you can fly, but you gotta let go. Every little thing that makes you so heavy. How can you hold on to love when your heart's so full of fear? Time to let go of what's keeping you here. You got it all together, but you never carry everything you need. The weight of the world is on your shoulders, making it so hard to breathe. I'm so heavy, in your eyes on. Heavy, you can fly, but you gotta let it go. Every little thing that makes you so heavy, in your eyes on. Heavy, you can fly, but you gotta let go. Every little thing that makes you so heavy, heavy.
Yes.
Sir, you can play the heck out of the guitar. I just want you to know that.
I love a guitar player. That was absolutely awesome.
It was such a blessing to have Armando play on that. He actually reached out to me because I had posted like an early version of it, And he said, heavy needs to be heavier.
Yes.
I said, so what are you going to do about it? It's a great track, so yeah.
So what was the inspiration behind Heavy?
When Ava is 14 in Earth years, she is emancipated. She's already had a ton of training. She's already a musician.
Okay.
And she goes to Earth Home, which is nothing but an archive anymore. She's going to spend a couple of years there working on her music before she starts touring the Milky Way. But she's never been on a full gravity planet. She was raised on a low grav space station kind of thing.
Okay.
And so Earth gravity almost kills her in those 2 years.
Oh, wow.
It starts destroying her organs. It starts destroying everything because her body is not used to it. And Heavy came out of that experience.
Okay.
Yeah. And, of course, a whole lot of life experience.
I cannot wait to hear this in person and get all of the backstories. Because of course I'm skipping around and we're not hearing this straight through. And there are 11 songs and we don't have time to play all those. So you guys have to actually buy this and check it out. So every time I see you and there's a new album, there is a story behind it. And you've had some pretty interesting experiences, coincidence, things that brought these things to the forefront. Do you have a favorite out of all of the muses you've met through the years?
I kind of love all of this. Sometimes I'm writing the songs. Sometimes it's Ava. Sometimes it's Nine Toes. I have a feeling I'm going to love this new muse that's been waiting for me. She is a blind, deaf, and dumb girl who was almost abandoned by her tribe because she was of no use to them as an infant. And it's a wandering tribe. And she has a really awful life, a lot of tragedy, a lot of pain. And she dies really, really young, in her teens.
Okay.
But she's got such a huge heart. And we're trying to figure out how to communicate right now.
Okay.
Because we don't speak the same way.
Okay.
She speaks through her heart because she doesn't have words. Right? And so we're having to learn how to communicate. And it's really interesting. I think she's going to be my favorite when I'm working with her.
Do you
They're
think...
all my favorite when I'm in the middle of it.
Do you think that each one of these comes to teach you anything, or is it just to have their story told, or what is it that you take away from them other than just the music? What part do they imprint on you permanently?
All of it.
All of it.
Because I am actually living their experiences. I mean, there's a deeper story, for instance, behind Nine Toes.
Okay.
That dragon is not her enemy. That dragon is her yogi, essentially. She just doesn't get it for a long time. And I actually lived those 10 years. She didn't spend one night in that cave with the dragon. She spent 10 years.
Oh, wow.
It was one night on the outside, but it was 10 years for her on the inside. And I lived those 10 years in about a 2-hour fugue that I was in.
Wow.
I felt everything that she felt, went through all of everything. I think that we give each other context. I think that we give each other hope because they're getting stuff from me too.
Okay.
We are actually sharing our lives. And there is a part of me that understands that Nine Toes and Ava and possibly Koff, who's coming up, I have a feeling that they write about me as well.
Well,
which I'm not sure I want to hear what they have.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
so Gina has great camp stories. Like after the shows are over, and if you are camping with her, she has the funniest fucking camp stories. Like only Mama Gina. Tell us one of your favorites, Mama Gina. One of your favorite camping stories, because they're always hilarious.
Oh no! Now you put me on the spot. I have no idea. I don't even know at this point. I haven't been camping in a year and a half.
So I remember one, and it was was it raccoons or something? You kept trying to like hang things in the.
She remembers.
So there is a song on my very first CD, on Got Us Kissed, and it's called the Brownie Song. I'm sitting with my girlfriend one morning, we're camping together, and she brought brownies. And during the night, of course, the raccoons got into the brownies.
Lord.
And when they managed to leave for us, we just kind of dusted off and still ate them. But I started singing this crazy song about the elves that stole our brownies, and it turned into the brownie song.
And this is what I say, every one of her camping experiences leads to a new song. Like it's absolutely perfect.
Goddamn raccoons, they get into everything. Yeah.
Now I think the very first time I heard you, you happened to be at the same event with Spiral Rhythm, and I think you did. You and Carrie
did a song together.
Yeah.
I was there.
The Sisters Waiting? It was.
Yep. That was magic.
Look at you guys.
It was. Like, it was raw. It wasn't planned. It just came together. And it was absolutely awesome.
And you were asking about how I got into the pagan music scene.
Yes.
And when I first started playing, it was mostly just my friends, right? They were the ones that would book me into festivals and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I'm really actually pretty much an introvert. And so I get around other musicians and I just sit back and listen. I don't engage. So it was Carrie who, after she heard me sing that for the concert at that festival, she heard me sing and she said, I want to do Sisters Waiting with you. And I'm like, oh my God, Carrie oh my God, she wants to sing with me. I was so excited. It's the musicians in our community that really reach out to each other. And Carrie's one of the reasons that I got brave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just a fabulous person, fabulous song.
Oh my goodness. There's like so many, like we have like 15 minutes left. So really quick, let me give a shout out to all our sponsors, and then I'll play another song for us. So thank you, of course, to Brandy's Hair Braiding Lounge. You guys really check her out. She's doing some serious changes in the community. The last event that she was doing was ladies golf event. So you guys check her out. She's doing really good things. COVID has been, and the time has been great for her. Check out Big Chief Botanica for, of course, like your incense and herbs and candles, those types of things. And please, please, please check out Opal Sanctum and Emporium. I was up there last week, and we uploaded the new crystals that she got in. They are absolutely gorgeous. Check them out, okay? They were perfect. Like, I couldn't believe, like, looking at them and how well the person who shouldn't have even shipped them, like, they are pretty much immaculate, not all chipped up and broken and all. So please check those out, as well as some of her other jewelry and things that she's gotten put online. So the next song we're going to listen to real quick is I Believe in Light, on the She Walks the Stars album. You're listening to BFAM 109.6.
I believe I believe in light. I believe in light. Don't believe in love, just believe in love. Fairy tales, lies. Don't believe that smile, just believe that smile. So much it can hide. I believe you shine, I believe you shine. I can see it with my eyes, and I believe in light. I believe in souls, I believe in soul. I can taste it on your skin, taste it on your skin. I believe I whisper, and this trembling within. I believe you shine, I believe you shine. I can see it with my eyes, and I believe in light. I believe in light. I believe in light. And if you need me to be happy, this is never gonna last. Just let me be the shadow to that golden line you cast. I believe in light. I believe in light. I believe in light. I believe in the ocean. That sense lingers when you're gone. I believe the rhythm in your breast is the heart of every song. And I believe you shine. I believe you shine. I can see it with my eyes. And I believe in light. I believe in light. And if you need me to be happy, this is never gonna last. Just let me be the shadow to that golden light you cast. I believe in light. I believe in light. I believe in light. I believe in light. I believe you shine. I believe in light. I believe in light. I believe in light.
Welcome back to What Up Witches on BFAM 109.6. So we have been talking and listening to Mama Gina and everything about the She Walks the Stars album and some of her past albums and her experiences and how they almost take over, I guess, for an extended period of time. But what I love is, even though it's pagan music, her styles. Like, if you listen to these songs, they're all a range of styles. You can go from rock to R&B to kind of electronic. Gina, how do you pull that off? Because there are a lot of people who cannot do that.
Honestly, I learned a long time ago from some really good musicians that you do what is right for the song. And I also learned that a good song can be translated over several different genres.
Nice.
And so when I write, I try to find where the song wants to go I studied that genre so that I can get it kind of right.
Okay.
If I need to bring in different musicians, I'll do it to make that happen. The funny thing is that like when I go live and play this stuff in front of an audience, they're going to hear these songs the way I wrote them, which was with my guitar in my lap and just my voice.
Nice.
So they're going to hear the raw acoustic versions of these songs, and they still hold up.
Yes, and this is why I say you've got to download the music. You've got to hear the music, but then you have to see her live. There's just nothing like it. What were you saying, Mama?
No. You said it.
Like, it's a totally different experience hearing it play versus hearing her soul play it for you. And you feed off of the audience so well. You get them like out of their chairs and on their feet and moving. I think
all the souls in the room, yeah.
Right. I think at one point I actually was swing dancing with someone to one of your songs.
You know what's really crazy is that, I told you that sometimes I let Nine Toes do the music. There was a concert in late 2019 where someone brought their Aura camera.
Okay.
And she took a picture of me playing a Nine Toes song. And she took a picture of me playing an Ava song. Same concert, same lighting, same everything. Completely different artists.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So
it's interesting being able to interact like that. Not just with the audience, but allowing them to come through and have the experience too.
Like it's definitely an experience that you have to have.
It's indescribable. You have to just see it yourself.
You really do. So we're getting to the end here. If people want to contact you, reach out to you, book you, now that we can
come outside and play a little bit.
Right. How do they find you?
MamaGinamusic.com, MAMAGINA music.com. You'll find all my contact information there, my email address, and my Bandcamp site. Everything's there. Just go there.
And hit her up. She doesn't bite.
Nope.
She will have you in stitches.
Does she do bonfires?
She does do bonfires.
I do.
She loves a good bonfire.
That is true. See, now we're on the same page.
So we've been kind of planning a bonfire. No, you're not coming out until next year, though. You're still kind of hanging down in Florida. But we're going to have to get up here and do a concert. Maybe a BFAM Pagan concert one night. Like a small listening party for our fans.
She said she might come our way.
Okay.
I might travel for you. So.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, we need to do like a BFAM listening party for our Witches fans.
Why not? BFAM bonfire pagan.
Hey.
Bonfire.
Right? Sounds good to me.
You gotta let one vanilla guy in there.
You're welcome.
Are we counting you or somebody else?
I don't think you're vanilla anymore. You're kind of like family now.
All right.
You're honorary.
Honorary? All right. I'm in. I enjoyed it. You know what I enjoyed about it? It was like when she talked the first time, she talked about it being a play.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to your plays, they don't have tracks, they have acts.
Right.
I wouldn't doubt if she didn't name her things Act 1.
She did. In the Nine Toes the Bar, she did.
I promise you I've never seen this before, but that's what it sounds like. Because the genre changes so much. Like in the first song she played, dude, I could have been laying in a field, feeling the earth. A couple people said earthy music. And then you got...
where she let her inner Tina Turner come out.
Yeah. Right, I love it.
And let the guitar come out. You're like... and then she's popping. Got Tina Turner coming out of that. It's interesting. It's a story.
It is.
It's a story through music. I like it.
You can almost see it playing out. Like
with her story beforehand,
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, again, hearing the songs are awesome. Just hearing the songs. but when you actually get the soul behind the songs, the fabric that wove them together.
Oh yeah, the Milky Way and the painting and I was there.
So this is an absolutely awesome album. But I mean, honestly, I love all your albums. I have all your albums.
Yay! So you don't have 9 Toes Naughty, and we're gonna fix that.
No, yes, I need this. I need this in my life.
You don't have 9 Toes?
Not the naughty
Not
one.
the naughty version.
But she didn't put that one up.
That wasn't on the PG-13 one.
It's on the VIP list.
Right. Because there were a couple of songs where the kids needed to be put to bed before they came out around the fire.
Yes, they did.
Just remember, Mama Gina, I'm honorary now.
We won't put you to bed. We'll let you stay.
Oh my
goodness.
So is there anything you want to say, any parting words you want to give your fans who are listening tonight?
You know what? If you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, go do it. It's the best thing you can do for yourself and for everybody around you. We want to get back to festival season. We want to hug each other.
Yes.
And thank you for all the love to your independent musicians in the pagan community. You've kept me alive for the last year and a half. I appreciate it more than you know.
Well, you know, we all absolutely adore you. So yes. All right, everyone, we are getting close to closing out. So the last song we're going to listen to tonight is called Again. It's the final song on her She Walks the Stars album. What can you tell us about this one before we hear it?
We're giving away the ending. She dies.
Oh
man.
There's a lot more to it, but
no dot.
Oh, you know the journey was going to be epic, so I'm sure that this death is
interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Have you heard us yet?
We need a whole other couple hours.
What do you think the music sounds like?
It was a great ending, and that's why I put it there, because it is definitely the end of this
season. Like, you got an image in your head right now?
I'm thinking like
she dies, man. She dies.
Like it's gonna be like some kind of
somber
girl like song, like real
horns.
Yeah,
horns, maybe some acoustic guitar, but somber.
Yeah,
kind of like you walk into a funeral kind of thing.
I feel like I should be taking bets. I feel like I should take
that. Well, I'll say this.
With her twist, you know.
Yeah, it would be a funeral like and no other. Like if that's what it sounds like, it's going to be something that's totally off the books.
All right, let's see how close we are.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
I'm wrong.
I said it was going to be kind of like,
I see the light we speak of, and down to our very last breath. The only thing in the room when there is nothing left. Don't know if it's angels or a trick of the brain. How I hope with all of my heart I'll see that light again. I've known the love always single, once in a arms embrace. The only soul light years around through all this empty space. My love was made of starlight. I could not hold in my hands. I may find my once in a lifetime over and over again. I've walked the stars others dreamed of. Live my life, no regrets. As I watch the void roll in, I've only one wish left. Let me feel the warmth of the sun. One last time, take my hand. How I hope with all of my heart I'll find you once again. Tell me time is not a straight line, that it curls and curves spiraling in. So I may find my once in a lifetime over and over again. Tell me time is not a straight line, that it curves and curves spiraling in. So I may find my once in a lifetime over and over.
Thank you, everyone, for listening tonight and joining me and Naila and Mama Gina as we listen to her She Walks the Stars album. You've been listening to What Up Witches on BFAM 109.6. See you next week.